It had been centuries since humanity had ventured into the stars. They had expanded far beyond Earth, colonizing 30 star systems and building thriving cities on worlds that were once only visible through telescopes. The United Earth Federation, UEF, was the governing body that held this interstellar empire together. The people of Earth had come to see themselves as invincible, explorers of the unknown, and masters of their own fate. But in the cold, distant reaches of space, something ancient and deadly was about to reawaken. The year was 2305. Captain Zara Daniels, commander of the UEF battleship Resolute, was stationed in orbit around Earth, overseeing routine operations when the distress call came in. It was from Enner 7, the planet on the very edge of human colonization. Enner was known for its rich mineral resources and had become an important hub for trade and research. But the message that crackled over the comms was barely recognizable, garbled voices, static, and finally, one chilling sentence. "They're here. They're coming for Earth." Then, silence. Daniels immediately contacted the UEF command on Earth. No response. Not from the military outpost on Enner, not from the colonists, nothing. Orders were sent down. Daniels and her crew were to investigate. The Resolute was dispatched to Enner 7 with a small fleet of accompanying ships. The mission was clear: find out what happened and secure the planet. But as the fleet approached Enner 7, they found something far worse than they had imagined. Where there had once been sprawling cities and bustling spaceports, there was now only death. The cities lay in ruins, their structures collapsing under the weight of destruction. Fires burned across the surface. Sensors picked up no life signs, none at all. The entire population, hundreds of thousands of people, had been wiped out. Daniels and her team landed on the planet's surface to search for answers. It was there, deep in the crumbling remains of Enner's primary research center, that they uncovered the truth. The Xareen species that had once terrorized the galaxy before humanity's time, had returned. Long thought extinct, the Xareen were not only alive, they had become more powerful, more advanced. The message that Daniels had intercepted was a warning. The Xareen had destroyed Enner in a matter of hours. Their next target was Earth. Daniels wasted no time. She and her team returned to the Resolute and made the jump back to Earth. The journey was agonizingly long, and the crew grew tense as they imagined what might be coming. The Xareen were unlike any enemy humanity had faced before. They were ruthless conquerors, leaving no survivors in their wake. Worse yet, their technology was beyond anything the UEF could imagine. Back on Earth, Daniels presented her findings to the UEF Council. There was panic. Humanity had spent the last 100 years in relative peace. The military was strong but unprepared for an invasion of this magnitude. The council debated, argued, and delayed. But there was no time. The Xareen were coming, and Earth had little to offer in terms of defense. Daniels, frustrated by the bureaucratic dithering, took matters into her own hands. She gathered a fleet of volunteers, some seasoned veterans, some fresh recruits, and began preparations for Earth's defense. Among her crew were Lieutenant Marlowe, a brilliant but reckless pilot, and Dr. Alara Quinn, a scientist specializing in Xareen history and technology. Together, they formed a core team that would stand against the coming storm. The Xareen arrived without warning. Their ships materialized on the edge of the solar system, massive and ominous, dark as shadows cast across the stars. The UES fleet, vastly outnumbered, scrambled to meet the invasion. Daniels led the charge from the Resolute, her crew tense but determined. The first clash occurred near the orbit of Mars. It was brutal. The Xareen ships were fast, their energy weapons cutting through UEF vessels like a hot knife through butter. Entire squadrons of human ships were obliterated in minutes. Daniels watched in horror as her comrades were torn apart. But she refused to back down. In the chaos of the battle, Daniels noticed something. The Xareen ships, while incredibly advanced, had a pattern to their movements, a rigid, almost predictable formation. She realized this could be their weakness. Using the Resolute's superior maneuverability, she coordinated a daring counterattack, exploiting the gaps in the Xareen formation. The battle turned in their favor, if only for a moment. But the victory was short-lived. The Xareen had thousands of ships, and for every one they destroyed, 10 more appeared. The UES fleet was pushed back, retreating toward Earth. With Earth's defensive line crumbling, Daniels knew she had to act fast. There was no way they could win a straight fight against the Xareen. That's when Dr. Quinn made a startling discovery. Hidden within ancient Xareen texts was a reference to an Achilles heel, a flaw in their technology, a vulnerability in their navigation systems. If they could disrupt the Xareen fleet's navigation, they could create confusion and chaos, buying humanity the time it needed to mount a proper defense. But the plan was risky. It would require infiltrating the Xareen flagship and planting a device deep within their systems. Daniels didn't hesitate. She gathered a small strike team and set out on a suicide mission to the heart of the Xareen fleet. Using experimental stealth technology, they slipped past the Xareen defenses and boarded the massive ship. Inside, they found themselves in a labyrinth of alien corridors, filled with strange technology and hostile soldiers. The team fought their way through, encountering terrifying Xareen warriors at every turn. They finally reached the core of the ship, where Dr. Quinn set to work on planting the device. But just as they were about to complete the mission, they were ambushed by General Kovacs, the leader of the Xareen invasion. Kovacs was a towering figure, cold and merciless, with a deep hatred for humanity. He taunted Daniels, telling her that Earth was doomed, that there was nothing she could do to stop the annihilation of her species. Daniels, wounded but defiant, engaged Kovacs in a fierce battle. As the two fought, the rest of the team worked frantically to complete the mission. In the end, Daniels outsmarted Kovacs, using his own arrogance against him. She delivered a fatal blow and activated the device. The Xareen fleet, now crippled by the disruption in their navigation systems, fell into disarray. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and their formation crumbled. Daniels and her team barely made it out alive, escaping in a stolen Xareen shuttle just as the flagship erupted in flames. Back on Earth, the UEF forces seized the opportunity. With the Xareen fleet in chaos, humanity launched a full-scale counterattack. The battle raged for hours, but in the end, the Xareen were forced to retreat. Earth was saved, but at a tremendous cost. The once mighty UEF fleet was in tatters, and the death toll was staggering. Daniels stood on the bridge of the Resolute, battered and bruised, watching as the last of the Xareen ships disappeared into the void. The war was far from over. The Xareen would return, and humanity would need to be ready. But for now, they had won. As the sun rose over Earth, Captain Zara Daniels and her crew knew one thing: humanity would fight. Always. In the aftermath of the battle, Earth began to rebuild. New alliances were formed, and the UEF worked tirelessly to strengthen its defenses. But the memory of the Xareen invasion would never fade. The war had changed everything. Humanity was no longer alone in the galaxy, and the threat of extinction loomed closer than ever. Daniels, now a hero to many, was promoted to admiral and given command of the newly formed Vanguard fleet, a force designed to seek out and destroy the Xareen wherever they might hide. Her mission was clear: hunt down the Xareen and ensure they never threaten humanity again. But deep in the darkness of space, far beyond the reach of human eyes, the Xareen were already planning their next move.